called Service Ontario. I'm like, oh, sorry. Like, I just called to expedite a bunch of documents I have to get, or like paperwork to renew, like government documents, like driver's license, all that stuff. So as soon as I get all of that done, hopefully within the next like month or two, then
Hey, Divya, stop talking. You're live on YouTube.
Look out there, your friend. I love Prabhupada Priya. She'll always be working like that. Everybody's listening.
Right. I don't want her to be talking about impersonal details of her life to like, God knows who's out there on YouTube. All right, YouTubers, whoever's listening, we love you too. And we're happy that you're really happy that you're here. And let me just get my view right because what's going on here? Okay. We're going to start reading from Caitanya Charitamrita right now. But first, the invocation. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Veda Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Veda Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatade Shatarane. We're reading from Adi-lila, chapter 4, the confidential reasons for the Lord's appearance, text 98. Radha Krishna Aiche Sada Eka Iswarupa Lila Rasa Asvadite Dare Dui Rupa.
Thus Radha and Lord Krishna are one, yet they have taken two forms to enjoy the mellows of pastimes.
Okay, let's go ahead. Prema Bhakti Shikaite Apane Avatari Radha Baba Kanti Dui Angi Kari Kari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Rupe Kaila Avatara Eta Panchama Shlokera Artha Parachara. Arjun?
To promulgate Prema Bhakti, devotional service and love of Godhead, Krishna appeared as Hare Krishna Chaitanya with the mood and complexion of Sri Radha. Thus, I have explained the meaning of the fifth verse.
Fifth verse. Let's go to the sixth verse, text 101. Shashta shlokera artha karite prakasha pratame kahiye she shlokera abhasa.
To explain the sixth, I should first give a hint of it.
What was the sixth verse? Let's go back to the sixth verse. Adi-lila, chapter 1. Text 6 is here. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord, Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. The text 5, okay, text 5 that we were just hearing the explanation of was this one. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Right? We heard all about how Radharani is Vladini Shakti, the internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. We heard a lot about that. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. Yeah, so far we've been talking all about the identity of Srimati Radharani in the context of the internal potencies of the Lord, Sandini, Samvit, and Hladini, and how Radharani is Krishna's potency, Sladini Shakti, and how she gives pleasure to Krishna in different ways, and how Lord Chaitanya is the embodiment of Krishna along with Radharani, his pleasure-giving potency. So now that's who Lord Chaitanya is he's Radha and Krishna combined. And now text 6 talks about now why does Krishna take on this mood of Srimati Radharani? Why does he decide to combine with Srimati Radharani in this appearance? And so there are 3 reasons given here. That 1, he wants to understand the glory of Radharani's love. 2, he wants to understand the qualities in him that she adores. And he wants to experience the happiness that she feels when she is loved by him. So that's the 6th verse. So now we're going to unpack that. Text 102. Avatari Prabhu Pracharila Sankirtana Ehabaya Hetu Purve Kariyachi Suchana. Okay. 103. Avatarera Ara Eka Ache Mukya Bija Rasika Shekara Krishnera Se Karya Nija. Divya?
Sorry, this is 103?
Yep.
Okay. There is a principal cause for Lord Krishna's appearance. It grows from his own engagements as the foremost enjoyer of loving exchanges.
So here we're going to start going into this even more confidential reason, right? And that is that Krishna, he's the enjoyer of loving exchanges. And he wants to enjoy the loving exchange. He enjoys the loving exchange. So loving exchange means 2 people. Loving exchange means love is going 2 ways and 2 people are enjoying the loving exchange. So he knows what it's like to be on his own side of the loving exchange. He doesn't know what it feels like to be on Radharani's side of the loving exchange. And he wants to know what that feels like. So 104. Ati Gudha Hetu Se Trividha Prakara Damodar Swarupa Haite Yahara Prachara.
The most confidential part is therefore Swarupa Damodara has revealed it.
Okay, so we learn about this from Swarup Damodar. And Swarup Damodar, he was the mentor for Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami learned a lot of things about Lord Chaitanya from him. And then Raghunath Das Goswami instructed Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who wrote this book. So he's saying that he knows about this because Swarup Damodar has revealed it originally. Swarupa Gosai Prabhura Ati Antaranga Tate Janena Prabhura E Sava Prasanga.
Swarup Gosai is the most intimate associate of God. He therefore knows these topics well. Prior to the Lord's acceptance of the renounced order, Purushottama Bhattacharya, a resident of Navjeet, desired to enter the renounced order of life. Therefore, he left home and went to Banaras, where he accepted the positions of Brahmacharya from a Mayavadi sannyasi. When he became a Brahmachari, he has given the name Sri Damodar Swarupa. He left Banaras shortly, thereafter, without taking sannyas, and he came to Nilachal Jagannath Puri, where Lord Chaitanya was staying. He met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there and dedicated his life for the service of the Lord. He became Lord Chaitanya's secretary and constant companion. He used to enhance the pleasure potency of the Lord by singing appropriate songs, which were very much appreciated. Swarup Damodar could understand the secret mission of Lord Chaitanya, and it was by his grace only that all the devotees of the Lord Chaitanya could know the real purpose of the Lord. Swarup Damodar has been identified as Lalita Devi, the second expansion of Radharani. However, text 160 of Kavi Karnapura's authoritative Gaur Gunadesh Dipika describes Swarup Damodar as the same Vishaka Devi. who serves the Lord in Golok Vrindavan. Therefore, it is to be understood that Sri Swarup Damodar is a direct expansion of Radharani who helps the Lord experience the attitude of Radharani.
Yeah. So, although Lord Chaitanya is Krishna and he takes a male form, but because he comes in the mood of Srimati Radharani, then all of his associates, who also have male forms, are the gopis of Vrindavan. And so just like the gopis of Vrindavan assist Srimati Radharani in her devotional service and her, her loving relationship with Krishna, and also in her basically kind of like, I don't want to say managing, but for lack of a better word, managing her emotions in relation to Krishna. So that's also those personalities who were Radharani's most intimate associates in Goloka, Lalita and Vishaka, and some of the like Manjaris, like Rupa Manjari and others. They became Lord Chaitanya's most intimate associates in Adi-lila, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, and they supported him in his devotional service and his loving exchanges with Krishna and managing his emotions in relation or in the mood of Radharani. Yes, Drishta.
I'm curious why it's like not clear on who's who sometimes.
Yeah, that always puzzled me as well. But the way Srila Prabhupada describes it is it's always like it's either Swarup Damodar or Ramananda Roy that are Lalita and Vishaka, but it's unclear which one is which.
Okay, that's easier to comprehend.
Okay, let's go on to 106. Radhikara Bhavamurti Prabhura Antara Sevave Sukha Dukkha Ute Nirantara.
His appearance resembles hers. So Damodar explained his attitude as Radha Bhavamurti, the attitude of Radharani. One who engages in sense gratifications on the material platform can hardly understand Radha Bhava. But one is freed from the demands of sense gratifications and understanding. Radha Bhava must be understood from the Goswamis, those who are actually controller of the senses. From God's authorized sources, it is Radharani, the highest of the love, which is the highest of the five, and is the complete perfection of Lord of Krishna. These transcendental affairs can be understood on two platforms. One is called elevated and other is called super elevated. The loving affairs exhibited in Dwarka are the elevated form. The super elevated position is raised in the manifestation of the past. The attitude of Lord Chaitanya is suddenly super elevated. From the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, an intelligent person engaged in the pure devotional service can understand that he always felt the separation from Krishna within. In that separation, he sometimes felt that he had found Krishna and was in the meeting. The significance of this separation is very specific. If someone tries to understand the exalted position of Lord Chaitanya without knowing this, he is sure to misunderstand it. One must first become fully self-realized. Otherwise, one can misidentify the Lord as Nagara or the Indra of the Council of Raja, thus committing the mistake of Rasa Bhava or overlapping understanding.
Yeah, so it's very complicated because Lord Chaitanya is male, but yeah, like I was saying, but all of his associates are also male, but in their eternal swarups, they're all female. And Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna, the male and female parts. The potent and the potency all together. So some people misinterpret Lord Chaitanya's existential personality, right? As being that he's the male because he's Krishna, And all of his associates are actually female because they're all like gopis in Goloka. And that what we are seeing externally is that they're all male, but actually it's Lord Chaitanya enjoying with the gopis. And so they came up with this whole bogus, deviant philosophy and practice, which is that they worship like Lord Chaitanya in dancing in the rasa dance with all the gopis, which is just totally not what Lord Chaitanya is all about. Because Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So if you want to have that, you can, I mean, a more appropriate way would be like Srimati Radharani will have all of her gopi friends, right? But actually, that's not correct either because he's also Krishna. So the way that we have to understand Lord Chaitanya is the way that Lord Chaitanya presented himself. That he's Lord Chaitanya, and as the Acharya says, he's Krishna in the mood of Radha, and he's coming in the form of a devotee. It's because Radharani is the best devotee. So Lord Chaitanya comes with that mood that he's just trying to be a devotee. He's just trying to serve Krishna, meditate on Krishna, and chant the names of Krishna, and dance in ecstasy, and clean the Jagannath temple, and go on Ratha Yatra, and take prasadam, and do all the things that devotees do, because Radharani is a devotee, and she serves Krishna in her way, because that's her form. But Lord Chaitanya has a different form, so he serves Krishna in a way that's appropriate to his form in this world. Yeah. So in the same way, see, anybody can serve Krishna in the mood of Radharani, right? And that's what we pray for. Like during Tulsi Puja, we say, please make me a follower of the cowherd damsels of Vraja. So what does that mean for us, right? Does that mean like that the men have to like put on saris and carry pots of butter on their head and wear ankle bells and things? No. Even the women don't have to, that's not what it means for the women either, right? But what it means to follow in the footsteps of the damsels of Vraja is to fully surrender and just give your heart and soul to Krishna, be totally absorbed in Krishna consciousness, never forgetting Krishna at any moment, and always just chanting his names, calling out to him, feeling separation, having intense longing to be with him and serve him selflessly, right, with no selfish desires, and to serve him unconditionally, to love him unconditionally. So that those devotional feelings and sentiments and enthusiasm and focus and intensity can be there in any body, right? Whether you're male or female in this world or whatever, it doesn't matter. So that's what we're looking at. When we follow in the footsteps of the gopis, we're following in their mood. We're not doing the things that they did, we're not dressing the way that they. So the problem is that people who are just kind of superficial in their spiritual understanding, they're like lacking depth, then they just take everything as superficial, right? And they're like, oh, we need to follow in the footsteps of the gopis, so let's put on a sari and ankle bells, and let's carry butter pots, and
But that's all they do. They just like dress up.
Yeah, they kind of dress up, and then they reenact they nominate someone to be like a Krishna or a Lord Chaitanya and be like the male figure in the middle, and then they have all kinds of like crazy dealings. So it's kind of like, it's these deviant groups that really disgraced Gaudiya Vaishnavism and made people feel like it's not even a bona fide religion, it's just sentimental at best, perverse, at worst, just disgusting. So that's why, like, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur came to this world, basically the teachings of Lord Chaitanya were almost lost to the world, and the practice of bhakti, as exemplified by Lord Chaitanya, was also pretty much lost. And in place of that, there were like 13 different kinds of deviations in the name of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, in the name of like followers of Lord Chaitanya. There are these 13 Aprasampradayas, and they're listed. We'll get to them. They're listed a few different places in Caitanya Caritamrita. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur basically just systematically crushed them all. He had so many enemies, You know, he had people that were trying to kill him. Even the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had people trying to kill him because they were exposing all of these, deviant cults, basically. And simultaneously writing books and giving, scholarly classes to try to reestablish the authenticity and respectability of Lord Chaitanya's teachings on the basis of scriptures. So that was a big job.
Why?
What's that? No, not just dressing. It's because they were like literally like having orgies and things.
So if if there were like women and men, would it still be disgusting?
I mean, it was women and men. It was like they would have, like I said, they would have somebody be Krishna. They'd get some male person, or a male person would come along. I mean, yeah, I'm not as sure exactly what they were doing, but it was just becoming like a very
They just made it up sex.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, Lord Chaitanya was a sannyasi, like he was like a renunciant. He didn't have any interactions with women, so they just totally took it the opposite way. Yeah, Juna?
Yeah, I was thinking that more than dressing, it's also that they were attributing these feelings based on their sadhana or their spiritual practice, like saying that these are manifestations of, love, ecstatic love for Krishna, whatever, when in reality they're just engaging in sense gratification.
Yeah.
They're using religion.
Yeah. Because people will look for any reason to engage in sense gratification and justify it. Especially if you can make a religion out of it, then
Oh yeah, the sex cult.
then it becomes like righteous, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Righteous, and also, what's the word? Like if something is if you can convince people that it's godly, that it's like that it's ordained by God, that it's like this is what God wants us to do, that it's the right thing to do, that it's the moral thing to do, according to it's religious, then you can basically get people to do anything. Okay, text 107. Shesha Lilaya Prabhur Krishna Viraha Unmada Ramamaya Cheshta Ara Pralapa Maya Vada. Whose turn is it? Sneha?
In the final portion, Chaitanya was obsessed with the madness of separation from Lord Krishna. He acted in erroneous ways and taught deliriously. Purport. Lord Chaitanya exhibited the highest stage of the feelings of a devotee in separation from their Lord. This exhibition was sublime because he was completely perfect in the feelings of separation. Materialists, however, cannot understand this. Sometimes materialist scholars think he was diseased or crazy. Their problem is that they always engage in material sense gratification and can never understand the feelings of the devotees and the Lord. Materialists are most abominable in their idea. They think they can enjoy directly perceivable gross object by their senses and that they can similarly deal with the transcendental features of Lord Chaitanya. But the Lord is understood only in pursuance of the principles laid down by the Goswamis, headed by the Swarupa Damodara. Doctrines like those of the Nadia Nagaris, a class of so-called devotees, are never presented by Swarupa Damodara or the six Goswamis. The ideas of the Gauranga Nagaris are simply a method concoction, and they are completely on the mental platform.
Yeah, this is group that I was talking about. So yeah, see, a lot of people they misunderstand Lord Chaitanya because in his final pastimes, he was so much absorbed in this mood of Srimati Radharani that Radharani's love for Krishna was so intense that whenever she was separated from him, she would just start speaking incoherently and she would be fainting and crying and getting so emotional and yeah, being delirious. So Lord Chaitanya, because he came in the mood of Srimati Radharani, then he also exhibited these same behaviors of Radharani, being overwhelmed by the same emotions that Radharani was overwhelmed by. And so, yeah, materialistic scholars say that Lord Chaitanya was like, basically had mental health issues. But because they don't understand what he was experiencing and why he was experiencing it, right? They just have no access to these transcendental topics and they're not able to understand the emotions that are associated with pure love for Krishna in the highest in Mahabhav, right? We're talking about these different, that love comes in different intensities, right? There's bhava and then there's Mahabhava, and Radharani is the embodiment of Mahabhava, which is such a high stage of such an intense feeling of love of God that basically like only Radharani can experience. Like other devotees, they can't get to that level. Radharani is like in a class of her own when it comes to loving Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya, because he's in the mood of Radha, then he experiences that Mahabhav and all the effects of it, all the ecstatic symptoms.
So up until that point, Krishna was like seeing Radha from afar, lose her mind because Krishna wasn't there, but and was like, I want to know what that feels like. And then came down and fully experienced what it was like to lose her mind for himself,
Yeah,
not being there.
yeah,
That had to be
right. Exactly. Yeah. I was reading a book that was by disciples of Gaur Govinda Maharaj. It was talking about how it was in 1975. The book is called Mayapur 1975. That's how I remember the year. So he was in Mayapur in 1975, and he was doing a lot of chanting and reading, and the intensity of being in Mayapur Dham, and being a pure devotee, and he was exhibiting a lot of ecstatic symptoms. Like sometimes he would go for like days and days without eating, and sometimes he would be just crying. Sometimes they'd find him like unconscious on the floor. Sometimes it would look like he was like having a epileptic seizure. He would be like, like just moving his arms and legs flailing. Gaur Govinda Maharaj. And so devotees were concerned because they were like, what's wrong? This is like serious. He has some condition. So they took him to the doctor like at least once, maybe a few times. And every time the doctor would do, exam on him, blood tests and whatever, nothing wrong. And so what was happening was he was just, getting deep. He would get into like similar to what Lord Chaitanya, not on that level, but like something like that he would get so deeply absorbed in his internal meditations on, Radha Krishna Lila or Gora Lila, and then he would just become so ecstatic that his body wouldn't be able to contain the ecstatic emotions, and his body would like, this feelings would erupt in certain ways. Just like, who was telling me? Somebody was telling me just recently that oh, it was you, Sneha. You were saying that you were like so stressed or upset about something, or stressed and upset about something, that you ended up like in the emergency room or something. Yeah, and I have a friend also that she was doing a service and she got stopped from doing it. She was so attached to that service and she got stopped from doing that service. And then she went into a really like she became very depressed, and she ended up getting like a lot of heart pain, and she thought she was having a heart attack. She called an ambulance. The ambulance took her to the hospital. She was sure she was like going to die of a heart attack. And then they got there and it was like, your heart's fine. She was having like yeah, it was like, it was all emotional. So it's just broken heart. Yeah. So just showing how like, these, sometimes emotions can be so overpowering that they literally cause, serious bodily symptoms, right? And we mainly experience that in negative emotions because this is a place of suffering where our suffering is sometimes so intense. We usually don't experience that level of happiness that causes us to, faint or our limbs to become contorted or something like that. have a breakdown. But these pure devotees, they experience the opposite extreme with happiness, with transcendental ecstasy that their Lord Chaitanya sometimes, like, his limbs of his joints would his shoulders and legs would become dislocated from the sockets, or sometimes he would sweat blood, and it's like really intense things. Yeah, like he would be like perspiring droplets of blood out of his pores and things like that. So these, like, yeah, because the body was just like not able to like handle the emotions. So I just remember that even, pure devotees can experience some quite intense emotions that materialistic people or even well-meaning concerned devotees might think are like disease, that the person is diseased or crazy or something. So
I
yeah.
used to have a panic attack every night, and that sounds really cool. Like having a panic attack where
You're so happy you can't contain it. All right.
They showed somebody having a panic attack and not going to the ER, and I was like, people go to the ER for that. Oh man.
Yeah, so emotions are very, very strong. Emotions are really like a big thing. Who? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why there's so much, people have so many health issues nowadays. Like when I was a kid, back in the day, when I was young, like we just didn't get sick. Like I was so surprised when I was in Krishna House Gainesville, and these very young people were having all kinds of ailments and serious ailments, and like back problems and chronic illnesses, and they can't eat this and they can't eat that. And when I was a kid, we used to eat all kinds of stuff and have no problems. And I think that because the situation in the world is just getting so difficult, with all this technology and impersonalism and so much stress and yeah, it's just very unnatural. It's very emotionally difficult to navigate. So yeah, that's having its ramifications on the health, taking a toll on the health of people. Not just mental health, but physical health, right? Who was going to say? Oh, Lavanga, you have your hand up.
On this note, I read a story a while back about a woman that had terminal cancer, and by like surrounding herself with positive things and like wholesome comedies, like stuff to make her laugh and just be like happy, she actually cured herself of it. And this is on like a material level, right? So just imagine like spiritual emotion. Yeah, true story. The your emotions have like an effect on your health for sure.
Yeah. So, all right. That's what happens with these ecstatic symptoms. It's just that the happiness becomes so intense that the body
Cannot.
It's just too much for the body, and the body just like does weird things. Okay, text 108. Radhikara bhava yaiche udava darshane sevave mata prabhu rahe rachadine. Yeah.
Just as Radhika went mad at the sight of Uddhava, the Lord Chaitanya was obsessed day and night with the madness of separation. Of course, those under the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand that his mode of worship of the Supreme Lord Krishna in separation is the real worship of the Lord. When the feelings of separation become very intense, when attains the stage of meeting Sri Krishna, so-called devotees like the Sahajiyas cheaply imagine that they are meeting Krishna in Vrindavan, Such thinking may be useful, but actually meeting Krishna is possible through the attitude of separation taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
All right, so Prabhupada's giving us a little secret here of how to meet Krishna. That meeting is a result of feeling separation. So yeah, our situation now is that, we are far from Krishna and we're more or less fine with that. We find ways to amuse ourselves. So, but for the gopis, it's like, forget it. If Krishna's not there, everything is just dark. There's no consolation. So, yeah, we have to come to that point that we're really missing Krishna. And like it says, that in your absence, I'm feeling, how's it go? Feeling your separation. I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing. Every moment is like that I can't see you, Krishna, is like, it's like a time period of 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I'm feeling all vacant. The whole world is empty because you're not here. Yeah. So when we get to that point of really feeling separation from Krishna, intensely longing for Krishna's presence, intensely longing for service to Krishna, relationship with Krishna, serving the servants of Krishna, then Krishna comes. That's what Prabhupada's saying. Then meeting is meeting. 109. Ratre pralapa kare swarupera kanta dhari aveshe apana bhava kahaye udhari.
So you go. He spoke out from his heart in ecstatic inspiration.
So you can just imagine, just imagine like a young woman and she's, she's separated from her lover and she's very distressed about it. And she's like holding on to her, close confidant, girlfriend. And she's just like crying on her shoulder and pouring out her heart and just speaking all her feelings and desperations and desires and feelings of being forlorn and all that. So that's the mood of Radharani when she's separate from Krishna, and that's the mood of Lord Chaitanya also here. This arms around Swarup Damodar's neck, crying and speaking incoherently. So he got what he wanted. He wanted to experience this love and separation. That's what he's doing. Text 110. Yabe ye bhava ute prabhura antara segiti shloke shuka dena damodara. Yeah, so Lord Chaitanya would be crying on Swarup Damodar's shoulders and he would be saying something. And Swarup Damodar was so tuned into the emotions of Lord Chaitanya that he would understand the Lord's mind, understand his feelings, understand like, the way that he's remembering Krishna, the way that he's missing the qualities in Krishna that he's focusing on in that moment, in that particular ecstatic moment. And then he would sing some song or recite verses from scripture about Krishna that are exactly in line with what Lord Chaitanya is meditating on, right? If Lord Chaitanya is like, oh, his eyes are so beautiful. When will I see those beautiful lotus eyes again? Then Swarup Damodar will recite a verse saying, the lotus eyes of Krishna are like this, describing them and describing his glances and describing this and that about the eyes. And then that just takes Lord Chaitanya like deeper into his ecstasy. That's how what's the word? How tuned in they were with each other, how intimate their connection was.
So Lord Chaitanya is feeling ecstasy and pain at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, so on the spiritual platform, all these emotions, there's different emotions. Like if you read the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it talks about 33 different categories of emotions that a pure devotee feels in loving Krishna. And some of those emotions sound like something that you might not want to experience, right? They sound like negative emotions, but actually they're all just different flavors of ecstasy. They're all just different flavors of happiness. So it's hard for us to understand that. But on the transcendental platform, there's also, grief, and there's also, but it's all just feelings of happiness because it's in relation to Krishna, and it's all coming from a place of intense love for Krishna. And love for Krishna doesn't bring misery, right? It counteracts all misery. It brings ecstasy. But how that, it's like, and those feelings are, although they seem negative, but they're actually relishable, right? They're all they're just different flavors. It's just like, if you were just happy, happy, happy all the time, pretty soon you wouldn't be happy. So we need to experience sometimes fear or shock or, lamentation or grief, and then those actually enhance our happiness. Just like, if you're feeling hunger, like intense hunger, when you eat, you enjoy your food more. Or when you're outside in the winter and you're very cold, you're like freezing, and then you come into the house and it's like a warm room, with a fireplace and the fire crackling there in the fireplace, then it's like, yeah. But if you've been outside and it's a hot day and you walk into the warm room, it's like, why do you have a fire going? It's hot outside, right? So like that. So these different flavors of emotion, they all enhance each other, and they create these waves of devotional emotion that increase the ecstasy more and more. Okay, 111. Ebe karya nahi kichu esaba vichare age iha vivariba karya vistare. Oh, Sneha.
To analyze these states is very long. Later I shall explain them later.
Yeah, so he's just giving a little overview now for the sake of understanding the philosophy or the philosophical reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. But later we're going to hear all about these pastimes and all about Lord Chaitanya's ecstasies. There's a lot to come. 112. Purve Raje Krishnera Trividhavayo Dharma Komara Poganda Ada Kaishora Ati Marma. Divya? 112. Divya there? Or Lavanga?
I'm getting to it right now. I've been trying to find where we are. And I'm 112, but I can't remember the chapter.
Chapter 4.
Oh, chapter 4. I'm in chapter 5. No wonder. Okay, let me do the next one because I'm
Next one,
scrolling down
okay.
to it. Yeah.
Nikesh, do you have it?
Yes, formerly in Brazil, Lord Krishna displayed three ages, namely childhood, boyhood, and adolescence. His adolescence is especially significant.
Okay, so that's Krishna. Text 113. Vatsaya aveshe kaila komara sapala boganda sapala kaila lana sakavala.
All right, now I got it.
Okay.
Parental affection made his childhood fruitful. His boyhood was successful with his friends.
Okay, so yeah, different, what Krishna's Kaviraj is explaining here is that the different relationships were more prominent in different stages of his life, right? As we experience here too, right? That when you're a little baby, who's the most important person in your life? Mommy, your mother. And then when you're a young child, like 8 to 10 years old, who are most important? Your friends, siblings, people that you play with, right? Kids that you play with. And then when you get to be like 15, 16, who are the most important? Boyfriends, girlfriends, right? That's all you think about. you're with your friends and your, you know, beloved walks by, you're like, bye. Okay, so that's the next verse, 114. Radikadi lana kaila rasa divilasa vancha bali asfadila rasera niryasa. Go ahead, Mother Vaidhi.
In youth, he tasted the essence of rasa, fulfilling his desires in pastimes like rasa dance with Srimati Radhika and other gopis.
So in his youth and his relationships with the gopis were prominent. And because he said here previously that his adolescence, his youth, his Kaishore age is especially significant because that's his favorite age, right? That's the age that Krishna decides to remain eternally. He could be eternally Damodar, right? With Mother Yashoda chasing after him. He could be eternally, you know, Balakrishna playing in the forest with the cowherd boys, but he decides to be Navana Yovana, eternally youthful. Text 115. Kaishora vayase kama jagat sakala Adi-lila yatina karila sapala.
In his youth, Krishna made the stage. The entire universe successful by his pastimes of immoral love like the rasa dance.
So yeah, when he in the rasa dance, he basically like made his whole life successful. It was the enjoyment that he got in that pastime is like everything was just kind of like everything else was just preparation. It was just leading up to that. Sopi Kaishora Kavayo Manayan Madhusudanaha Reme Sri Ratna Kutasta Kshapasu Kshapitahitaha.
He dispelled all the misfortunes of the world. Further, this is a verse from Vishnu Purana 5:13-60.
So we just now we're in the autumn here in our world. It's autumn right now, and we just had last night we had the autumn season is called Sharad, and we just had the Sharad Purnima, the full moon of autumn, the first full moon of the autumn season, and that's Sharad Purnima is a very significant day because there's a that was the day that the rasa dance happened. So in some temples on Sharad Purnim, they'll make like a big pot of sweet rice, and then they'll put it on well, in India, they have these flat terrace roofs, so they'll put it up on the roof, thinking that if Krishna and the gopis are having Rasa-lila somewhere nearby, and they get hungry, they can come and take some sweet rice and sit there under the moonlight and eat sweet rice. So in Vrindavan, they used to do that. And then on the first morning of the first day of Kartik in the morning, after Mangalarti, they would distribute that sweet rice in leaf bowls. They make a huge pot and distribute in leaf bowls to all the devotees. That was really good sweet rice. I remember that. Very special. Okay, now we have a very long verse here. Text 117. Vacha suchita sarvari rati kala pragalbhyaya radikam Vidya kunchita lochanam virachayan agre sakinam aso tadvakshoruha chitra keli makari panditya param gata Kaishoram sapali karoti kalayan kunje viharam hari. Who's reading? Is it you, Aruna? You just read.
Lord Krishna made Srimati Radharani close her eyes in shame before her friends by his words relating their amorous activities on the previous night. Then he showed the highest limit of cleverness in drawing pictures of dolphins in various playful spots on her breast. In this way, Lord Hari made his youth successful by performing pastimes in the bushes with Sri Radha and her friends. Purport. This is a verse from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami.
It sounds funny. It translates it in the bushes. Kunje. Kunje means in the kunj, right? In the forest to grow. Prabhupada. What he did with Radha. What did they do in those bushes? So No, that's what it's basically what it means. I mean, Kunj means like a forest grove. It's like a little place in the forest, but yeah, it's basically in the bushes, right? In the forest. But it's a little more than just like, I mean, the Kunjas are like, yeah, just like some hedgerow or something. So, yeah. So this is just a little sample of Krishna's pastimes with the gopis.
This is just a sample.
This is a small sample. Okay. Adir Eshana Chedavatarisyan Madhurayam Madhurakshidadikacha Abhavishyad Iyam Vrita Vrishtistir Makarankas tu Visheshatas Tadatra. Daniel? 118.
See. So Srimati Radharani, this entire creation, especially Cupid, the demigod of love, would have been useless. This verse is spoken by Sri Vrinda Devi in the Vidaka Madhava of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Nice. Yeah, so he's saying that Krishna's Rasa-lila not only was the perfection of his own life, but it was the perfection of the entire creation. Because this world was created and Krishna descended into this material world along with Goloka Vrindavan, his holy dham, which in the material world is called Boma Vrindavan or just Vrindavan or Vraj or Gokul. And along with all of his associates, eternal associates, and they perform their pastimes here. And they basically, fulfilled the whole purpose of creation. And exhibited a level of love that is unsurpassed. Loving exchanges that are unsurpassed. Krishna's exchanges with the gopis. And he's saying that without the love of Radha and Krishna, then Cupid was just useless, right? If it wasn't for Radha's and Krishna's love, then basically there's no meaning to love. Right? Okay. Text 119, 120. Emata purve Krishna rasera sadana yadyapi karila rasa niryasa charvana tatapi nahi latina vanchita purana taha asvadite yadi karila yatana.
Even though previously it's the essence, still he wasn't able to really find.
All right, so here we're going to go because, we're going to get into the subject matter of the 6th verse. So Krishna's Kaviraj starts off explaining how Krishna, he has these ages, and in every age he's enjoying these different relationships, and especially in his relationships with the gopis, he's having all this fun, all these activities that are giving him a lot of pleasure, and still there's something, right? He's still some desires that he is not able to fulfill in his being Krishna. In all of his leelas as Krishna, he's unable to taste some experiences that he wants to taste. Text 121. Tanhara pratama vancha kariye vyakyana Krishna kahe ami hai rasera nidana. Sneha? Okay, so now this is Krishna. We're hearing about Krishna's desires. So we have our desires. Krishna also has his desires. So he's analyzing the situation. Now, wait a minute. I'm the cause of all rasas. I'm the cause of all happiness. I'm the source of all happiness. Text 122. Purnanandamaya ami chinmaya purna tattva radhikara premeyama karaye unmata. Divya? Divya. 122.
I'm the full spiritual truth, and am made of full joy, but the love of Srimati Radharani drives me mad.
Yeah, so he's saying about himself, Purnananda Maya. So Ananda means happiness or bliss, and Purna means complete, and Maya means that's what I'm made of. He's saying, I am literally made of joy. I am just completely like joy personified. And and also Chit Maya Purna Tattva. I'm also completely the truth, spiritual truth. And yet, Radhikara Preme Ama Karaye Unmata. Unmata means make that you become crazy. Radharani's love drives me mad. Najani Radhara Preme Ache Katabala Ye Bale Amare Kare Sarvada Vivala. Lavanga?
Yes, I do not know the strength of Radha's love, with which she always overwhelms me.
So Krishna's thinking that, I know everything, I am everything, I'm full bliss, I'm full knowledge, I'm full truth, and yet there's something that I just cannot understand. Although Krishna is omniscient, there's something he doesn't know. And what is that? The strength of Radha's love. Najani Radhara Prema. I don't know Radha's love. Okay. Radhikara Prema Guru Ami Shishyanata Sada Amanana Nritye Nachaya Udbhata.
The love of Radhika is my teacher, and I am her dancing pupil. Her prema makes me dance various novel dances.
So he becomes like a dancing, I don't want to say dancing dog, but he becomes like he becomes like a puppet, dancing, being pulled by the strings of Srimati Radharani's love. 125. Kasmad brinde priya sake hare pada mulat kutoso kundaranye kim iha kurute nritya shiksham gurokaha tantvam murti prati taru latam digvidikshu spuranti shailu shiva brahmati parito nata yanti swapaschat.
Oh my beloved, where are you coming from? Prabhu? I'm coming from the feet of Sri Hari. Where is he? In the forest on the bank of Radha Karn. What is he doing there? He's learning dancing. Who is his master? Your image, Radha, revealing itself in every tree and creeper in every direction, is roaming like a skillful dancer, making him dance behind. This text is from the Govind Lilamrit 877 of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami.
So just exhibiting the point, demonstrating the point. Krishna's taking dancing lessons, and who's the teacher? Srimati Radharani. 126. Nija prema svade mora haya ye ahlada tahate koti guna radha prema svada.
Sickness is 10 million times more than 8 by your love.
So you see here, Krishna's thinking, all right, I'm becoming happy by Radharani's love, but I can see that she is 10 million times more happy than me in this exchange. What the heck? He's like, I'm getting the short end of the stick here. Ami yaiche paraspara virudha dharma shraya Radha prema taiche sada virudha dharma maya.
Just as I am so Radha's love is always full of similar contradictions.
We have to actually stop. 5 o'clock. To be continued, we're going to hear about Radha's love. This is very high topics here. Let me just see if there's any action out here on YouTube.
Call service.
Everyone's hearing about Devi's plans. Why are you live? Why not? Hare Krishna. Somebody asked, why are you live? Oh, I think they probably heard Divya talking and they're like, I don't think we're supposed to be hearing this. And then Ritika Jaipur, Mataji, today's lecture is about Damodar Ashtakam. Okay. Thank you very much for joining, and it was nice to have a nice big class here.
Yes.
Oh, Lavanga, you have a question or comment?
Just like a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure how important this is, but since you're live streaming, I'll let you know. When other people are reading in the room, it's kind of hard to, like, some people you can hear very well, and some people you can't really hear anything at all.
Oh, yeah, some of them are a little far away. Yeah, usually we don't have so many. Usually there's just like, 3 or 4 of us here and we all sit quite closely together. But today we had a big group, so it wasn't possible for everyone to be that close.
Okay, yeah. Of course, I can't see how you do it because I can only see you. But
Yeah.
but yeah.
What we really
following
need to
along,
do-
though, it's not bad.
You know what we had in Gainesville? Chris bought us this really cool, I think it was like called a conference mic that you just put in the middle of the room and it just picks up everybody, like clear as day.
Get like a normal mic that we have in everyone's house. So that would be good too. We have a normal mic.
But it's gonna come through the speaker there. And then we put the speaker like next to the,
We should have to put the speaker a little away though. But yeah, I mean, whenever I'm hearing on the YouTube, it's hard, especially like even this far is hard.
Yeah.
Even this part is hard.
We should look into getting that conference mic, because that was a really good, that was like a game changer for our online classes and you just like sit it on the table and it literally like picks up everything. It's really sensitive. How much do they cost? I don't know, we have to check on Amazon. You can do Amazon search. You want to sponsor it for us? Yeah. Oh. Okay, Jai, thank you for the suggestion, Lavanga. Looks like we're gonna take some serious action on it.
It's a good investment.
Yeah, and we can use it for all. It sure is. Yeah, because it's people need to hear. That's the whole point. Okay. Krishna's Kaviraj ki jai, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.